Alright, we're doing question 22, page 156, and we're looking at group data. Now, I'm going to do more than what the question is asking for because I'm going to use the question to teach, as I said before. Alright, it says, the table shows a group frequency distribution of the prices paid for lunches by a group of 50 workers. Alright? So, what are some of the stuff, if I'm teaching in group data, what are some of the things I want you to know? First of all, I would like for you to know the meaning of the word frequency. Now, frequency is the number of times a value occur. I would like you to know that N stands for the number of values. I would like you to know that this symbol here is sigma, and that sigma stands for the sum of all. Alright? So, now, one of the first thing I'd like you to know is that N is equal to the sum of the frequency. One of the first things I'd like you to know is N is equal to the sum of the frequency. Now, we're doing statistics, and statistics is the study and analysis of what? Of large quantities of what data? It is the study and analysis of large quantities of data. Alright, what else? Once you're doing statistics, you're dealing with what? With values. One piece of data could be called a value. You're dealing with values. Now, in this question, 50 employees in a 50 workers in a workplace were asked, how much do you pay for what? Lunch. This table here contains their what? Their answer. Alright? And the first thing I want you to know in dealing with group data is that N is equal to the sum of the frequency. What is the frequency? The number of time a value occurs. Alright? So if I ask 50 people how much you pay for lunch, how many answers do I expect to get? 50. So since the price, one place to pay for lunch is a value, how many values do I have altogether? Talk to me now. 50. I have 50 values. N, which is the number of values, is the sum of the frequency. So if you add them up, this is 30. 30 plus 10, 40. This is what? 7 and 3 is another 10. This is 50. This is 50. So N is equal to the sum of the frequency. Alright? Now, the next thing that I asked you for is this. This is what A, as I said, I'm doing more than what the question is asking because I want to use this now. Use the questions as an opportunity to teach. Calculate an estimate of the mean price paid for lunch. First of all, when you have group data, the mean symbol X bar is equal to the sum of Fx divided by N. Now, the mean is another word for what? Average. How do you calculate average? Average is the sum of all values divided by the number of what? Values. So the mean is another name for what? Average. And in what? Group data, if we're asked to find mean, the mean symbol X bar is the sum of Fx divided by N. Here, F stands for the frequency. X is what? Class midpoint. And N, we already tell you, is the what? N is the number of values. N is the number of values. Now, the sum of fx is an estimate of the sum of all values. The sum of fx is an estimate of the sum of all values. Alright? Fine. Now let me ask you this. Why an estimate? Alright, we're going to get into that, but before we get into that, let me show you how to get the class midpoint. Because remember, the mean is the sum of what? Fx divided by n. F is the what?
Frequency.
And x is the what?
Class midpoint.
Class midpoint. Let me show you how to get that. You see, each of these, they're called what? Classes. Now, so you're going to put a column called what? Class midpoint. Remember I told you to be conservative?
That is 4.5?
Where? I'm coming. I'm putting in a column called what? Class midpoint. Alright. Now, before we get into it, I just want to tell you something over here. As I said before, this is what your class. Each of these is a what? A class. Hear this. It's the first value is called the lower class limit. And the second value is called the upper class limit. The lower class limit and the upper class limit. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, here's where you find the class midpoint. I need for you to look. Here's where you find the class midpoint. You're going to add the lower limit and the upper limit and divide it by 2. So this is going to be 0 plus 4 over 2. This is 4 over 2, which is 2. This would be 5 plus 9 over 2. This is 14 over 2, which is what? 7. Find the class midpoint. How do we do it? We add the lower limit and the upper limit and divide it by 2. So this is 10 plus 14 over 2. This is 24 over 2, and we have 12. Now, the class midpoint goes up by what? A fixed amount. And by the first 3 values, you can tell it's going up by how much? How much is it going up by? It is going up by 5. So what will be the next one after 12?
17.
17. The next one after 17?
22.
22. After 22?
27.
27. After 27?
32.
32. Alright? So this is the class midpoint. Alright, I need to explain to you what is the purpose of the class midpoint. Let's talk a little. How do you find average? Anybody? How do you find average? What do you do to find average?
Everything I divide by the number of.
To find average, you have to add up all the values and divide it by the number of values. Now, you see, when you deal with group data, there is a problem. There is a problem with group data is because many times, or most of the times, you do not know the actual what values. Let me ask you. These 2 employees, how much do they pay for their lunch? They pay what? 0 to what? $4. These 5 employees, how much do they pay for the lunch?
$5 to $9.
These 12 employees, how much do they pay for the lunch?
$10 to $14.
Now, we're asked to find what the average cost of a lunch, but we have a problem because we do not know how much each person paid for what? Their lunch. We do not have the actual values. What we have are what? A range of what values. So these what? 2 persons, theirs is what? 0 to $4. These 9 persons, 20 to what? $24. I have a problem. How am I going to calculate average when average is the sum of the values divided by the what? Number of values. I can't do it. To fix that problem, that is how you get the class midpoint. So now watch me now. Rather than say that these two persons lunch cost between what? 0 to what? 4. We said the two of them lunch cost what? $2. Rather than say that these 5 persons lunches cost between what? 5 to what? $9. We said the 5 of them lunch cost what?
$7.
No, is that the truth?
Yes, sir.
No, it isn't actually, no. It is an estimate. I don't know the cost of the lunches, but I need to calculate average. And I cannot calculate average unless I have a what? Value. To fix the problem, no, I come up with the what? The class midpoint. Which is no, the class midpoint no is an estimate of the value in every class. For every group, the class midpoint is an estimate of the value. And it is a fair estimate, don't it? Because this is in the middle between what? 0 and what? 4. This is in the middle between what? 5 and what? 9. So rather than say these 18 people lunch cost between what?
$19.
I said the 18 of them lunch cost what?
$17.
$17. Alright. So write and listen. You have to write, look and listen. So keep writing. Alright, the next thing I'm going to put up is the FX. FX stands for what? Frequency. FX, which is frequency, times class midpoint.
How much more line is
I don't know. I know I'm going to add one for class boundary. Maybe just after this one, there's another one. Alright, what does FX say?
Frequency
Times what?
Class midpoint.
Watch me. Frequency is what? Class midpoint is what? This is 2 times 2. 5 times 7. 12 times 12. 18 times 17. 9 times 22. 3 times 27. 1 times 32. This is 32. This is, I think, 81. This is 198. I don't know what that is. This is 144. This is 35. And this is 4. What is 18 times 17? This is 306. Assume it very quickly. What is the sum of fx? Very quickly, what is the sum of fx? I don't know, please, don't want to get. What is the sum of fx? The sum of fx is 800. Now, can anybody tell me what does that 800 represent? What does the 800 represent? You know, sometimes we must use our what? Sometimes we must use our what? Our eyes.
An estimate of the sum of all values.
This is an estimate of the sum of the what? The lunch money of the what? The price paid for lunch for what? For the 50 workers. This is an estimate of the what? Sum of the price paid for lunches by the 50 what? Workers. Let's talk a little. Alright, let me ask you, how many persons lunch costs $2? Talk to me now. So much money that in total? $4. How many persons lunch costs $7?
5.
So that's a total of how much money?
35.
So this 35 here is the price of what? Of 5 people what? Lunch. How many persons lunch costs $12? 12. So this 124 here is the price for how much people lunch? 12. So this 800 is the price of how much people lunch? 50. The sum of fx is an estimate of the sum of what? All values. The sum of fx is an estimate of the sum of all values. Again, how do we find average? Out of all the values and then divide it by the what?
Number of values.
So in the formula here, this is the formula for mean. What is at the bottom?
N number.
What does n stand for?
Number of values.
So the top piece must be what? How do you find mean again? Tell me, how do you find average? The sum of what?
All values.
Divide by the?
Number of values.
So this is number of values. So upper top must be the what?
An estimate of the
Must be the sum of what? All values. The sum of fx is an estimate of the sum of all values. Answer this. Why an estimate? Why is it an estimate? Because I do not know the exact value. I do not know exactly how much each person pay for the lunch. So therefore, we came up with the class midpoint, which is an estimate. So the mean that we calculate is also an estimate. Alright, so this is A. The mean x bar is the sum of fx over n, which is equal to 800 divided by 50. The mean price for lunch is $16. The average price for lunch is $16.
160
No, it's 16. Alright. That is A. As I said, in doing the questions, I'm doing a lot more than what is asked, don't it? Because I want to show you. You understand? Fine. Alright. What are some other things I want to talk to you about? I want to talk to you about the modal class. The modal class. This is the class with the highest frequency. This is the class with highest frequency. Alright, look on the board. What is the highest frequency?
300.
No, look at the board. What is the highest frequency?
18.
18. That corresponds to which class? Which group? 15 to 19. 15 to 19 is what you call the modal class. So 15 to $19 is the what? Modal class. So we're learning as much as we can. Next thing I need to talk to you about, the class boundaries. Class boundary. I think that's the last column we're going to put in, the class boundary. Alright, now have your attention please. The highest frequency. It's a class with the highest frequency. Highest. Alright. Can I share something with you? Class boundary. Class boundary. Here's how you get the class boundary. Are you looking? You're going to add 0.5 to the upper limit, and take away 0.5 from the lower limit. This is minus 0.5, 4.5. If you add 0.5 to 4, what do you get?
4.5.
Let's go on to this class. This is the lower limit, 5, and the upper limit is 9. If I take 0.5 from 5, what do I have?
4.5.
Good. If I add 0.5 to 9, what do I have?
9.5.
So this is 4.5 to what? 9.5. 9.5 to 14.5. 14.5 to 19.5. 19.5 to 24.5. 24.5 to what? 29.5. 29.5 to what? 34.5. This is the lower class boundary, and this is the upper class boundary. Now, what will be the purpose of the boundaries? While you're right, what will be the purpose of the boundaries? Answer this. An employee whose lunch costs $4.30, which group would you put him in? An employee whose lunch costs $4.30, which group would you put him in? Which group? 0 to what? 0 to 4 or 5 to 9?
0 to 4.
Talk to me now?
0 to 4.
Yes. Because see this group, the first group ends at what? $4.50. That's the boundary. So if someone lunch costs what? $4.30, you would still put them in the what? In the first group. What if somebody lunch costs $4.60? Which group would you put them in? You put them in a group which is what? 5 to what? 9. You understand? Because the $4.60 past the boundary, which is what? $4.50. You understand? As a point of the boundary. Alright, keep writing. I need to talk about the class width. The class width or class size. Class width or class size. Now this is equal to the upper class boundary, UCB, minus the lower class boundary. And it works for any class. It works for any class. The class width is the class width or class size is the what? Upper class boundary minus the lower class boundary. And you can use any class. Let's use the class 15 to what? 19. 15 to 19. The class width would be 19.5 minus 14.5. The class width or class size is what? $5. The class width or the class size is the upper class boundary minus the lower class boundary, and it works for any class. I could take any class and I would still get the what? The class width is $5. The class width is fixed. It is $5.